everyone, this is my second gear review video, and this time I will be overviewing TTsko Camouflage, or Free Tone Color Camouflage. Now, for those of you who don't know, this type of camouflage was started in the nickname Butane project during the beginning of the 80s for development for a uniform for such forces as air crew, naval infantry, and more specialized units in the Soviet armed forces. It was first seen around the Soviet-Afghan war in limited quantities to air crew, mostly to officers in the VDV, though accordingly it was only seen in combat by air crew. However, after the Afghan war, into the period towards the end of the USSR, it was seen in much more larger quantities and issued much more en masse to VDV units and other units such as the MVD Special Forces like the Interior Army and Oman, as well as the naval infantry. If you'll see photos or images of Soviet troops during the many ethnic conflicts or situations that took place in the 1990-91 period, you'll see them wearing mostly TTsko. However, after the SU collapsed, it was seen in much more quantities to mostly the Russian Federation, among the VDV and the naval infantry. The special forces were no longer using it at the time, and by the Chechen War, it was in the process of being phased out and completely phased out by other camo variants around 1996. Now, this camouflage pattern is pretty damn rare, so if you find some in your size, you better find it and hoard it, because you may never get another chance. I bought all these uniforms off of the site, an airsoft site called Red Alliance, and I've since added to them. The first one I got is the one in the middle here. It's this variant developed around 1994 during the first Chechen War on an airfield, I believe, according to the seller. The thing about it, unlike my previous khaki Afghanka, it does not have 5 pockets at all, and for insulation in the armpits, it has this oddball mesh that doesn't match the camo pattern. And I have attached Interior Army patches onto it for my various impressions. I've yet to get a collar liner attached to it. And this was originally the first hat to go with it. It doesn't have a clear stamp, but it seems to fit me. Other than this, it doesn't exactly tell the date, so I would imagine it's post-Soviet. I don't know if it's modern Russian or Ukrainian. It seems to resemble modern Air Force camo. And it seems very oddly designed. Here is the second one I bought from a German seller. I made it to resemble a VDV uniform. This is the VDV cut of TTsko Afghanka. And unlike the enlisted 6-pocket version like this one here, this one it mostly has 4 pockets, 2 on the arms, 2 on the chest. And these uniforms are usually given camouflage suspenders attached to the jacket, which go underneath the shirt, designed specifically for paratroopers. Hey Milo. The seller wasn't able to find the pants to go with the matching shirt, so he found a different pair of pants that match it. These pants don't appear to have any sort of stamp, but they're said to be 50 by 3, and they fit me just fine. They have one short trouser 5-pocket here, and they have brass buttons. And here's a closer look at the VDV tunic. Excuse me, Milo. Here we have the VDV collar tabs, which I've attached, officers' pins, and the VDV patches attached to both arms. It originally came with these 2 patches, modern Russian, and occasionally I have put these 2 Oman patches on the arms for Oman impressions. The shirt itself is dated about 1987, It is also 50 by free. And the thing about the VDV models is that they appear to have these Makarov holsters, like the winter versions of Afghankas. Here you can see the suspender loops. There's also one like right back here. And it's pretty snug, although at times I had to modify these suspenders so they would actually fit the belt, because the belts I have don't seem to fit on there. I had to modify it quite a bit, but it does not have the trouser loops to secure it to your legs as this one. And here is my third pattern of TTsko camo that I bought on Red Alliance. It's a post-Soviet Ukrainian, dated about 1997. As you can tell, I have clearly dyed it, so it will resemble more of a Soviet colorized look. Because when I got it, it was just this hideous, ugly sage green that just was completely unfitting. I have a little patch-up job to do with the dye. I have some areas that I need to get back on. But I have also modified this one. The collar felt kind of thin, so I thickened it by putting some cloth inside of here. And it's basically the same as my khaki winter Afghanka, except the liner on this one cannot be removed. And it is size 50 by 4, dated 1997, as I said. Essentially the same concept as the khaki winter version I have. Holster pocket right inside of here. Suspenders, interior pocket. And no back pockets here, as usual. And a bit more cheaply made than the previous khaki Afghankas I have. And I'm going to do a second look on the headgear. Here I have a more prominent Soviet TTsko cap. It has no clear stamp on it, as you can see. It uses a brown leather backing. I have added officer's pin on this one that I've painted, because it has this, when I got it, had this weird metallic color to it, so I've had to repaint it, make it more camouflaged. Fits me perfectly snug, a bit more of my khaki kepi. And here is something that is incredibly rare, a TTsko Panama hat. I have never seen photographs of this thing in use. All I've seen are photographs of the hat itself across different airsoft forms. I've taken like a couple of photos with this. Now this model has a stamp on it. It is size 57, dated about 1990, and well, I'm planning on maybe testing this camouflage pattern out when compared to TTsko ESDA. Maybe sometime later in a couple of months, I'll be able to, maybe next month at the most, I'll be able to put it out in the nearby woods and set it next to TTsko ESDA and see which camouflage pattern fares better. Alright? And I pretty much freaking love this camo. It's my favorite pattern. And that'll be all.